Did you know that the average retirement age here in the US is 62 years old? Do you really want to work well into your 60s or even 70s just to enjoy retirement at an old age? Why not put in the work early so you can enjoy those vacations and more time with family and those beaches or just relaxation up in the mountains? Working a 9-to-5 job is great and all, but that alone won't get you to early retirement. And in today's video, I'm going to be going over 5 tips that you can do in your 20s or even 30s that'll put you on a plan to retiring early. If that sounds great to you, let's dive in. Hey everyone, Mark Rusin here, back for another video. As always, everything discussed in this video is for educational and informational purposes only, so please do not take any of this as financial advice. If you strive to retire early, then start off by showing me some love and clicking that like button down below, as that's huge for the growth of this channel and I truly appreciate it. All right, let's start talking retirement or early retirement. For years, the thought of retirement kind of looks like this. But I want retirement to look like this. Okay, so what are some tips or steps that you can take in your early years to help you be on a plan to retire early? Step number 1, a well-paying 9-to-5 job is okay. Far too often on social media, especially on Twitter, I see finance or money accounts bashing 9-to-5 jobs. Many of those can be out of touch with reality because in all seriousness, a well-paying 9-to-5 job, especially one that you may enjoy, can be the foundation of your early retirement plan. So I just want to get that out of the way. Do not be disheartened because you have a 9-to-5 and don't own your own business and are some great entrepreneur. Not everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur. Step number 2, get your finances in order. Become the CEO of your finances. Know exactly what money is coming in and know exactly the money that goes out, why it's going out. A major key to retiring early is getting your finances in order early. As a wealth coach, I talk to investors on a weekly basis, and we don't just talk about investing. We also cover personal finances. And it amazes me how many folks in their 40s, 50s, or even 60s are still digging their way out of debt due to the financial decisions they made at a young age. Choosing not to budget, using credit cards and not understanding their impacts, eating out and blowing money on a weekly basis, and choosing not to invest their money. Being young and understanding how money works, not only saving money and being efficient with your money, but investing money and building wealth, puts you at a major advantage. And this could be the difference of retiring at 40 or earlier or retiring at 70. So get your finances in order, start a monthly budget so you know what's coming in and what's going out and where you can cut expenses that aren't necessary. Tip number 3 is pay off high interest debt. As much as I want you to start your investing journey, paying off high interest debt is imperative. Credit cards are interesting. They can be awesome and amazing, but they can also be dreadful and they could have you digging out of a debt hole for years and years to come. Let me first explain the amazing part, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and how I use credit cards. To be honest with you, I have not used a debit card for 5 to 10 years. I probably couldn't even tell you where my debit card is right now. If I ever need money, which not too often, to be honest with you, do I get cash out of the bank. And if I need it, I have an app on my phone with the new ATMs where I can just get, 20 or 40 bucks if I'm going out somewhere that for some reason only takes cash only. But I use credit cards as debit cards. If I can pay something off, I put everything on a credit card and I pay that entire amount off every single month. If I can't pay it off, then I'm not going to buy it. And this allows me to build up points. I've been to Europe twice in the past 10 years. I've been to Hawaii 6 to 8 times. And doing so, I'm staying at some of the nicest resorts that the Marriott has to offer. I use the Marriott Bonvoy American Express card. And this has me staying at the Westin, St. Regis, Sheraton. Those are just a few of the names that fall under that umbrella. And it's all due to the fact that, say I'm going to Costco, well, I'm going to spend $300 at Costco. I can use my debit card or I can use my credit card, get points, and pay it off completely that next month. This is a way that credit cards can be amazing. But if you start racking up bills and you're only paying the minimum, this is going to put you behind the eight ball, because these high interest credit cards with 20 to 30% are going to continually add up and add up, especially if you're only paying minimum balances, and only put things on them that you can pay off fully. So before we start investing, let's pay off that high interest debt first. Tip number 4, diversify your income streams. So I talked about in step number 1, having that 9 to 5. That can be the foundation of this retire early plan, something that's going to provide stable income for you month in and month out. But here's where this comes in to play. Having one source of income is way too risky. We just saw a global pandemic where millions upon millions across the globe lost their job. And if you only had one source of income and you just lost that job, well, you are now sitting with no income coming in. Imagine if you had other sources of income, like you could have affiliate marketing, you could have rental income, you could have dividends, you could have a side hustle. All of this to where if you lose your job, you can rely on this other income that help lessen the blow. It may not cover what your regular 9 to 5 brought in on a monthly basis, but it's certainly going to have you feeling a whole lot better than if you only had one source of income. So remember this, one source of income is way too risky, and it's not enough for you to be able to not only meet your needs, provide stability, provide safety, but also be on a wealth building plan that will help you retire early. And finally, tip number 5, invest early, invest often, and invest aggressively. This is probably the tip that you expected me to start off with. And let me first rephrase that. When I say aggressively, this means the amount of your income that you are putting into the stock market. This doesn't mean the investments that you are making. I'm not saying go out and put all your money on red. I'm not saying go out and put all your money in crypto. I'm not saying go and put all your money in options trading. I'm saying aggressively in terms of the amount of money, the percentage that you put into the stock market. So in order to have any chance of retiring early, you want to first have a strong foundation. You want to have a well-paying 9 to 5 job, and it could be a self-employed job as well. You could be an entrepreneur, but I'm just saying a 9 to 5 job is okay. So you want to first have that stability in terms of income, a well-paying 9 to 5 job. You want to be able to get your finances in order, have a monthly budget. You need to be able to pay off high interest debt. Get the high interest debt out of the way. And next, you want to diversify your income streams. Do not rely on just one source of income. And lastly, that brings us to our investing phase. I think it is well known and has been well documented that investing in the stock market is a great way to build wealth over time. Did you know that the S&P 500, if you look over decades and decades, that there is no consecutive 20-year period that you will find where the S&P 500 was negative? Take any combination of 20 consecutive years and you will never find a combination where the S&P 500 was negative. The problem early on for most new investors is they're always looking for a get-rich-quick plan. And that doesn't really exist. That's more of a get-lucky plan. And that's not the way I want you to build your portfolio coming into the stock market. You want to first educate yourself. And that's exactly what I do with Rusin Financial. I talk with new investors on a weekly basis. We go through coaching sessions where I educate them so that they are prepared to start building their portfolio the right way. I believe that every investor should have a portfolio that has a firm foundation. We just talked about a foundation as a plan, but in terms of your portfolio, having a strong foundation. And if you follow my dividend portfolio updates, you will see that my top 2 positions in that portfolio are ETFs or index funds. One, I have a S&P 500 broad-based ETF or index fund, which is going to be an investment in the top 500 stocks in the US. That provides stability and diversification right off the bat. The second is also an index fund, and it is focused on dividend appreciating stocks. So you know that I love dividend stocks, and it is a well diversified. It's not focused on one particular industry. It's across tons of different industries, but major dividend paying companies. Once you build out that foundation and you educate yourself and continuously are learning, then you could start sprinkling in some high quality stocks. Maybe that you want to go the individual stock route and add some individual stocks like Home Depot, Apple, Microsoft, Google. And I'm not saying just all dividend stocks, Amazon. You can start sprinkling those in once you educate yourself. The rule of thumb that we've heard over the years is to invest 10% of your income. But this is the rule if you want to retire like a normal person. On average, we saw from the start of this video that the average retirement age is 62. So if you want to do that, start investing 10% of your income. But as I phrased in tip number 5 here, we want to invest aggressively. That means maybe you double that to 20%, but if you can really do it, let's get that up to 30% and you will be well on your way to retiring early. Not only the amount of money that you invest in is important, but the way you invest it. The stocks you invest in, but also taking advantage of tax-specific accounts. Think of a Roth IRA, which shields you all your gains, your future gains, from being taxed. So the money that you put in is after tax. That will grow tax-free and you will be able to take that money out for the true amount that is on there. So if you put in $50,000 and that grows to $500,000, that is $500,000 for you to take out in retirement tax-free. And anyone can invest in a Roth IRA. Maybe your income's too high. There's backdoor options right now that allow you to invest in a Roth IRA. You can roll old 401k accounts into Roth IRA accounts as well. Just make sure if it's a traditional 401k and you're rolling it into a Roth IRA, you do know the tax issues that happen there as well. So make sure you talk to your financial advisor before doing that, but that is also an option to consider. So going back to that 10% rule of thumb that we talked about and that aggressive 30% I talked about, let's take a look at a quick example. Say we have person A and person B. Both of these folks make $100,000. They have a $100,000 salary. Person A invests 10% of their income and person B invests 30% of their income. Both of them do this for 20 years and they earn an average annual rate of 9%. Let's just say they invest in the S&P 500 and they earn 9% per year for 20 years. This is what their income accounts would look like after those 20 years. Person A's portfolio would be worth $516,065, and person B's portfolio, after investing 30% per year, earning the same exact amount, would be worth $1.5 million. So as you can see, a big difference there. And just to tack onto that, imagine if you also had those multiple income streams. You had rental income that has built up. You had dividend income that has built up. Whatever the list goes on, the side hustle has built up. And this just adds on to that portfolio amount that we just discussed. So while you are still young, understand the major advantage that you have. There are so many people out there in today's world that don't start thinking about retirement until, to be honest with you, it's almost too late. They don't start thinking about or putting a plan together until they're 40 or plus. Imagine if you start doing it in your 20s and you do it aggressively. You start getting your finances in order. You get rid of high interest debt and you start investing a major amount of your income early on. And this doesn't go on to say skip life and don't have fun and make sure you only invest. No, that's not what I'm saying at all. Enjoy life along the way, but put together a plan. And if you put together a plan, part of that plan is entertainment in there. Just budget it in and understand that the decisions you make at a young age can be the difference of retiring at 40 or earlier or retiring at 70. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you want more videos like this talking about personal finance topics, let me know down in the comment section down below what you thought of the video. Also, if you haven't done so yet, make sure you click that like button down below, as I greatly appreciate that and it helps with the Google algorithm. And consider subscribing so you'll be notified anytime we drop a video. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed the video and we will see you next time. Take care.